What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here, and we are here today to talk about all the news, the notes, and all the rumors that have been going on in the professional wrestling world the last week. I'm going to tell you who my Mount Rushmore WWE is, and I want to hear from you. Who is your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling? Any era, any company, pick your top 4 superstars, and let me know in the comments below. We got a lot of stuff that's been going on this past week. We got some superstars being signed. We got some documentaries coming out next week and everything in between, which means today we're here to talk about it all. Let's get to the chat. Let's see what everybody is saying, and let's talk about it. Jada said, J-Dog said you thought we were starting at 7:30. No, not this one. Today I have a few things I have to do tonight and tomorrow. So we had to do it a little earlier today here. So I was hoping that, we'll see who comes in, who doesn't. I know it's Saturday. Right now it is raining and thundering really bad by me. So if anybody does see any if you hear any big noises or big booms, that's what it is, because it's not looking pretty outside here in the Midwest. But let's get to it, and let's not waste any time, and let's get into all the stuff that's been going down in wrestling this past week. And let's talk about something that happened last night on Friday Night SmackDown. And it was like a movie. We saw Cody Rhodes, we saw Roman Reigns go out there and probably put on one of the coolest, most amazing, productive, whatever that they did with all of that was straight up fantastic. I loved every second of it, and I really hope that we see more of it, because it's something that I think would add more to the storylines. It would add more to the stuff that's been going on with whatever story they're using this for, and just everything about it last night was great. And Cody had this to say. He said, "I'll see if you're a man of the word." As you guys know, they made it official. We'll be seeing a tag team match of Bad Blood between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa as they take on Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Roman mentioned Jimmy. He mentioned the Wise Man last night. Do we see them both at Bad Blood? When do we see them return? And I think it's only a matter of time before we do. Jimmy and Paul, I think it's going to be a great time. Could we put Paul Heyman in War Games? I think that would be something, wouldn't it? If we were able to put Paul Heyman in War Games. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be something that it would be so crazy to watch him take a spot in War Games. But I don't think that will happen. We'll just see him on the outside cheering on his tribal chief. Paul Heyman and Jimmy will be back sooner rather than later, though. Cody and Roman, do you guys believe that they will get along? Do you guys believe that they will become and be able to coexist? Or do you guys think that this is just a bad idea? And do you think that these guys are going to rip each other's heads off? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you guys are just joining us, as I said earlier, make sure you guys let me know, who is your Mount Rushmore of WWE? Who is your top 4 professional wrestlers? It doesn't have to be WWE. I said WWE. But it could be any era, any promotion, any type of anything. Let me know who your top 4 are right now of all time. Any way you want to set it up, let me know who your 4 are. Speaking of AEW and other professional wrestling companies, apparently Tony Khan had this to say about Triple H and Tony Khan possibly working together in the future. And he said that WWE and AEW would work possibly together. But you're going to love this. You're going to love this one, because I thought it was fantastic when I heard and when I saw this come out. We also have some news about Alberto Del Rio. Tony Khan says a partnership between WWE and AEW will happen in the next 100 years. I can't say never. Anything could happen at some point. It's hard to say what's the timeline in the next 100 years, but it's quite possible. Guys, if we get AEW and WWE working together, it's off limits, and the things that they could do together would be absolutely insane. And I would love every second of it, and I would love to see them be able to do it. If it's Raw, if it's a SmackDown, whatever it is, if it's just one pay-per-view event, Let's see it go down, and let's see it happen, because that would be something that I would be so intrigued in. I know a lot of people would be, and it would just be something that we don't think we would ever be able to see. Tony Khan, Triple H, get this working, and let's get this together, man, because let's see Forbidden Door, AEW, WWE. Speaking of, though, of guys that could show up, and he's not in AEW right now, he was in GCW, and they issued a statement saying that for the foreseeable future, Zilla Fatu will no longer be appearing on GCW, which means his debut for the WWE could be very imminent, and we could see it happen sooner rather than later. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that we could see Zilla Fatu? When do you think we could see Zilla Fatu? And what part of the bloodline does Zilla Fatu take? Does he go with Roman and the old bloodline, or does he go with Solo Sikoa and the new bloodline? It's only a matter of time that we're going to find out which side Zilla picks. Let me know what you guys think about Zilla Fatu possibly becoming and joining the bloodline. I think it would be insane. I think it would be really interesting. And I also think he will probably be the last guy that will join the bloodline in this type of scenario and in this storyline. Zilla Fatu, he's coming sooner rather than later. As I mentioned a few seconds ago, we got some news about Alberto Del Rio, as Alberto Del Rio had this to say recently on a podcast via WrestleBinge. He said, former WWE superstar, his legacy in professional wrestling was unfairly stolen. My legacy was stolen from me. It was taken away from me, he says. It's not something that I lost. It was stolen. I have to go and reclaim my legacy because it is there waiting for me. Alberto Del Rio, if you guys remember, he was a former WWE champion, a former Money in the Bank winner, a former Royal Rumble winner, a main eventer of WrestleMania. And Alberto Del Rio did a lot of good things from the years like 2011, 2012. Alberto Del Rio was doing what he could to try to make a legacy for himself. He had matches with Cena, CM Punk, others. As I said, WrestleMania, he faced Edge in Edge's last match at the time until he showed up at the Royal Rumble in 2021 or 2020. Alberto Del Rio, guys, was somebody that I thought they were going to have, and they were going to have a huge star, but it just did not happen. And Alberto had that to say. What do you guys think about what Alberto had to say? Do you guys agree with him? Do you disagree? Do you not like what he had to say? Alberto Del Rio, guys, somebody that we will have to see what the future holds for him. But somebody I definitely did think at some point or another was going to be a big star in the WWE. And it just sadly did not happen. But hopefully Alberto can figure it out. And hopefully he can make a name for himself somewhere else. Or maybe he just figures out something else to do. But Alberto, wish nothing but the best to you. Somebody, though, coming into WWE, it's not just one guy. It's two guys. And it is a tag team, everybody. The Lucha Bros, Rey Fenix, Penta. He and they are coming to WWE. They have recently signed and inked a multi-year deal with the WWE, which means that they will be showing up on Raw or SmackDown very, very soon. The question is, though, which show should they go to, Raw or SmackDown? Because the tag team divisions have not been very good. We saw them do a little, they kind of did well for during WrestleMania season. And then we saw DIY lose the tag titles. We saw Miz and Truth lose the tag titles. And now they're being held by the Bloodline, and they're being held by Judgment Day. And the tag titles just feel oblivious, and they don't feel like they mean absolutely anything. But there's a team that could come in here and save it all, and it is the Lucha Brothers. The Lucha Brothers are a big tag team if you've watched AEW. If you have not watched AEW, or you don't like AEW, or you don't know who I'm talking about, and you're like, who are these Lucha Brothers? Go check out a few things. Go watch some of their matches. They're really good. They're just great luchadors. They're great superstars. And they're going to bring a lot of good stuff to the main roster. I think, though, they should go to the Raw division. Go to Raw. Go to Monday Night Raw. And take the titles off of Judgment Day. what exactly have the Judgment Day done with those titles? They've defended them once. They have not done anything else besides walk around in kissy face with Liv Morgan and Dominic and run around and just take out whoever that they can. So the Lucha Bros, please put them on Raw, have them take the tag titles, and let's make these tag titles let's make them mean something again, man. It just, you make new designs, you make new titles, and this is the BS that we get. And I'm just not standing for it. Lucha Bros, though, which one? Raw or SmackDown? Let me know some dream matches in the comments. And once we get to the comments, we will talk about it all. Let's get to the next thing, though, and let's talk about the rebirth. We're going to go to a little TNA action with the Hardy Boys real quick. As you guys know, the Hardy Boys have been in AEW. They have been in TNA a lot of recently. And we have had our guy, Mr. Jeff Hardy, be doing a few things that seems to be bringing out something old that we have not seen in a long time. And that is bringing back the Willow character. Matt Hardy had this to say via The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy. Go check that out with him and Matt and John Alba. They do great stuff over there. Every Friday, episodes come out. Matt Hardy had this to say about Willow. Willow is something that I think we will see sooner rather than later in TNA, not WWE, because we have had some discussions about that, and that's something that Jeff is very passionate about, and that is something he really wished he could have done with Bray Wyatt, especially The Fiend. Now, that's a match I would have loved to see. The Willow against The Fiend would be a banger of a match, and it would be absolutely killer. So, Willow coming back to TNA. Cannot wait to see what Jeff Hardy does with this incarnation of Willow. Should be a good time. Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. I hope we see them in WWE soon. Keep killing it in TNA. I'm just happy the Hardy Boys are in our lives again. Matt and Jeff, keep doing it and keep wrestling until the wheels fall off, because I love seeing the Hardy Boys every single day. Now let's talk about a match that could be going down, and it looks like it's already penciled in for John Cena's retirement tour. And it is John Cena taking on the YouTuber sensation himself. I mentioned it when John Cena was on Logan Paul podcast. Seems like every superstar Logan Paul brings on his podcast, they are eventually in a match together. And it looks like it's going to be the same with John Cena and Logan Paul. John Cena was on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast. They talk about a lot of good stuff. Go check it out if you have not yet. It came out a few months ago, but it definitely is a good listen. But I mentioned it. As soon as they're on the podcast, they're going to do something in the ring, which is fine. I'm excited, and I cannot wait to see where and when this match goes down. Could this be a Royal Rumble match? Could this be like a Saturday night main event? Could we see it go down at WrestleMania, SummerSlam? I feel like if it's going to happen at any show, it's going to be either WrestleMania or it's going to be SummerSlam. But John Cena, Logan Paul seems to be penciled in for John Cena's retirement tour. And I don't want to go into it yet because we are going to have one episode when it gets closer to 2025. And I project who I think John Cena faces, when he wins, who he faces, who he'll lose against, and what he'll accomplish what he will accomplish in his last year. But for right now, Logan Paul, John Cena, we have to see when it goes down. But a match that will steal the show when it does. I want to know in the comments. Let me know some more dream matches you want to see of John Cena. I could think of 3 names right off the top of my head. Braun Breaker, Gunther, and CM Punk are the 3 that I want to see in and on John Cena's retirement tour. Remember, he will be starting at NXT or Raw on Netflix. We will be seeing him go throughout the whole year. He will not stop after WrestleMania. But this upcoming WrestleMania will be John Cena's last WrestleMania. But he will continue to wrestle until 2025 of December of 2025. John Cena. Who else do you want to see him face? I think there's a lot of people we could see him go up against. We got, though, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, guys. It's only a matter of time before these two go at it and they rip each other's heads off, and the New Day is officially broken up forever. And it's going to be a sad day. but it also is going to be a good day for a new day because these guys have been together for so long that I think that we will have to see them make sure, and it's time to see them go at each other. I know they said they never wanted to break up, and I know they said they never wanted to do anything like that, but what I do think is they can tell a very good story. They could go out there, and they always say the best of friends always work the wellest together, and they work so well together. I think that they could go out there and put on a storyline for the ages. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, especially Xavier Woods, that has been on the sidelines for Big E's wins, Kofi Mania, other championship things because of injuries. It's time for Woods. It's time for Austin Creed to get his opportunity, become that single superstar, maybe an IC or US championship reign, maybe a world championship reign, but it's time to put that rocket to Austin Creed because we know what he's got and we all know that he can do it. Kofi and Woods, though, going to be a banger of a match when it goes down. And the turn for Austin Creed's is imminent. He had this to say, though, on social medias. You guys hear that big boom? That was a big boom. The streets are saying that I may see some old friends soon, just so y'all know. I'm not a kid no more. I have to see what that means when when Austin Creed continues and we see him on Monday night. Now, let's get into women's mid-card titles. Bianca Belair had this to say about having mid-card women's titles and how it needs to happen sooner rather than later. I think there's a lot of things that need to happen sooner rather than later. And that's just, that's just how it be. Which means we should be able to, and hopefully we will see this happen very, very soon. But Sasha Banks had this to say, and let's see. And not Sasha. I said Sasha Banks. I'm sorry. Bianca Belair had this to say about the mid-card championships. I think we're at the point in time when our roster is so stacked, especially the women. I added that, but let's be real here, guys. The women's division is so stacked right now. I think our roster is at a time now where you don't know who's going to be at WrestleMania, and everybody's trying to fight for a spot on the card. I feel like another title for the women would highlight the true talent of our division. And I don't think that, yes, let's hope that does not happen, Jadis, because if that happens, then we're going to be SOL. Let's hope not, because we're almost done here today. Almost done. Remember, these episodes are about 30, 45 minutes. We're going to go through all the information I got, and then we'll go to the chat. Let's hope that don't happen. But Bianca had that to say about the women's IC or US champions on Battleground Podcast. Do you guys think that we should get 2? Should we get 1? And my question for you guys is, who should become the inaugural mid-card women's champion? That would be a really interesting, and that would be something that we would definitely have to wait and see where it would go down. We also got Mercedes Moné. Money changes everything, she says. And ever since Mercedes hit the scene, the business has been on fire. Have had fun with that. My Moné haters. Mercedes Moné via the Moné mag had that to say. And she's right. Wrestling has never been hotter as it is right now. And wrestling is at a point that there's people that I see that I never thought would actually watch wrestling that are now watching wrestling on a weekly basis. And I'm talking to them about what's going on. And there's times that they see stuff that I've never even seen. I'm just happy that wrestling's as healthy as it's been in a long time. And it's just exciting to see everybody be able to get a little piece of something. Jordan Grace, I was not able to get this picture in there because it did not save for me for some reason. But Jordan Grace had this to say about teasing Joe Hendry. Say his name and he appears. Joe Hendry possibly being in the 2025 Royal Rumble. I think that's already a given. I would have him start number 1. I would have Joe Hendry be the Iron Man of the Royal Rumble next year. Because you start off the Royal Rumble number 1 with Joe Hendry, people are going to go ecstatic, and they're not going to know what's going to happen the rest of the night. Jordan Grace, though, might be right. She says, say his name, and he appears. hits next year, it's going to be in the top 5 Rumble reactions in history. I mean, listen, if he enters number 1, that crowd's going to go berserk. And Joe Hendry is going to be the man, the myth, the legend. And he's just going to make sure that he is that guy. Joe Hendry, man, I cannot believe the love and the stuff that he has done in TNA WWE. It's crazy just to watch how fast the superstar can really rise if you continue to put the work in, and all it takes is that one shot. We do have this upcoming Wednesday. I want to hear from you guys because I want you guys to let me know. We have the premiere episode of the Vince McMahon documentary coming out, and I want to know from you guys if you want Tino to live stream it. We'll come here when it is out, and we'll watch it live on the channel, hang out, chat about it, and all that good stuff. So keep an eye out for a poll after this episode, and let me know if you want to live stream the Vince McMahon documentary. This was set, though, and I just wanted to bring this up since this is starting next week. Janelle Grant's lawyers said she is not a WWE storyline. And I don't really want to talk too much about it, but she does deserve justice. She deserves her day in court, and that's our bottom line. She is a victim and a survivor, and she is not a WWE storyline. Though our lawsuit, we seek to hold all parties accountable, Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and the WWE. So I don't think that they're going to go too much in depth into this situation exactly. And I'm not too positive, to be honest, exactly everything that we're going to see in this documentary when it premieres on Wednesday. But I'm very intrigued to see what happens. And I really hope that we have some sort of justice. And I hope that there's some sort of something that is okay, he's not going to be back. Something like that that's going to be kind of up to date to know that Vince McMahon is not ever going to be able to be back in the WWE ever again. Documentary comes out. Let me know in the poll when we post it later today if you want us to go live for it and you want us to talk about it and watch it with you on the channel. We got all that, though, out of the way. Let's talk about my WWE Mount Rushmore. And I want to hear from you. I've said it in the chat. Let's see if any of you guys have said it, though. Who is your Mount Rushmore of WWE? And if you guys did not see the thumbnail, that is who my Mount Rushmore is. And my Mount Rushmore goes like this. We got John Cena, the greatest of all time, of course. We got the Dead Man, the Undertaker. CM Punk, the best in the world. And the Charismatic Migna. I said that way wrong. But it's him, man. It's the man himself. We just mentioned him a second ago. Becoming Willow. It's our guy, Jeff Hardy. All Mount Rushmores could be different. You could have a Mount Rushmore for every era. You could have a Mount Rushmore for every single which thing. There's no right answer. Everybody has a preference. And it's okay to like what you like. So if you don't agree with my list and you have your own list, then that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. So I want to hear from you. What is your Mount Rushmore? And who are your top 4 superstars of all time? And like I said, it most likely will be different than mine. But let's see who it is. We got Hassan in the house. Let's roll up. Let's roll up, Hassan. Let's roll up. We got Ava in the house. What's up, Ava? What if Roman turns on Cody in the tag team match? Honestly, that is something that I never even thought about. But I think it is something that we do need to keep an eye on because that very well could happen. And we could see a situation like we saw with Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes when we thought Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar were going to tag team on that awful Raw after WrestleMania. And then Brock Lesnar did the F5. And then we continued the storyline for Cody to finish his story. Very well could be what happens. Very, very well. Very well. Hi there. Ava, happy place. What's up, Ava? I think Roman turns on one of the two, turns on each other. I think we're definitely going to see a little tease of them kind of not getting along. But what I also believe, and I do believe that we are going to see them being able to work and coexist to the point that they are going to be able to get the job done and win that tag team match at Bad Blood. But I will not disagree with you where I do think that we will see some type of like Superman punch miss. He'll go for a crossroads, something like that. Let's say Roman, Austin, The Rock, and John Cena. That's not a bad list. I mean, listen, I have nothing against Roman, The Rock, or Austin. Those are just personally my top 4. Rock and Austin are like 5 and 6. And I could even take CM Punk and put Austin. You could put Jeff Hardy and put Rock. There's so many which ways you could go with it that making a Mount Rushmore of WWE, even your favorite superstars in general, is difficult. If they do work together, that would mean it would be on Netflix, right? More brutal stuff. Yes. Yeah, so apparently, and again, I don't want to get too excited, and I don't want to get my hopes up that we're going to get something where we're going to see blood every week. We're going to see guys getting their eyes taken out and stuff like that. What I think is going to happen a lot of is there will be no more like the edit out. There will be no more blackouts where we see the screen go black. There will no be cutting of the audio. We may see more of swearing and stuff like that. I just don't want to get my hopes up that we're going to see all this blood. We're going to see all this brutal stuff. Because as I always say with everything, don't get your hopes up until it actually happens. And that's what I will say about that. Because I just want to see what will the difference be on Netflix. And until they actually say something, or until we watch a few episodes on Netflix compared to the USA Network, I really just don't know. It all depends, because what if Jay doing War Games? Yeah, I don't know if Jay's doing War Games. I saw something that said it could be Cody, Roman, KO, and Jimmy against the Bloodline. I also saw something where they added DIY randomly into the War Games match. And not that I would hate to see Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in War Games again. I just don't know how well they fit the storyline. We got Daniel. What's up, Daniel? Who would their first feud be with the Lucha Brothers? Judgment Day. I think them taking the titles off of Judgment Day is the way to go. Yesterday, tag team match on SmackDown was Bayley's 100th match in WWE. That's a lot. Lucha Bros versus the Street Profits. That could be a good match. I mean, we could do Lucha Bros against Authors of Pain. Lucha Bros against the Usos if the Usos want to get back together. Lucha Bros against, I know maybe not the most exciting tag team, but Alpha Academy, the Creed Brothers. We could do Frazier and Axiom if they want to go, and obviously they're going to go to the main roster, but doesn't mean they can't make a stop at NXT one time and take them on. Them against LWO, Rey Mysterio, and Dragon Lee. That would be good. Did you see the Mercedes Moné said that she would like? Yes, I did see that. I think we talked about Megan last week, and it would be weird to see Megan Thee Stallion wrestle in the ring after what listen, I don't want to give anybody anything, because obviously we know how well and how hard these people work to go out and do what they do. But I just don't know how Megan Thee Stallion would do in a match. Now, if she wants to come out and be Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné hype woman, that would be interesting. And maybe sing like a song or so. I don't know. I don't know about her getting in the ring. John Cena beats Gunther for 17th World Championship. Yes, sir. Kofi and Woods at Mania. I did not think about Mania, for that matter, about Kofi and Woods. I mean, we're getting closer to the point that they could very well go and make sure that they could drag this out a little bit, because we are getting closer. They could cost each other the Royal Rumble match. Maybe they cost each other an opportunity at a title. I could see that. And then what if it's Kofi and Woods, and you make Big E the special guest enforcer, or like a special guest. Like, I don't know if he could get in the ring. So I would say special guest referee, but I don't think that's what would happen. 17 World Championship. What's up, Temple? Surprised my Wi-Fi hasn't gone out. Yeah, if it is lagging or anything, I don't think that there's anything I can do because obviously the weather is not the greatest right now. So we're just going to stick through it. We're almost done with the chat, and then we'll say goodbye. But I wanted to make sure we still came here and did all this today because remember, guys, we'll not be here the next 2 Sundays for NFL as we will be busy the next upcoming weeks. I love that they made the women's North American title for NXT. Just tells you Raw or SmackDown getting a women's title soon. You would think so, but my fear with that is they will treat it just like they treat the women's North American title. We really haven't seen Kalani Jordan do too much besides face a few people and stuff like that. Did you see that NFL is looking to remove 2 high zone safeties for... I did not see that. We will have to talk more about that, Jadis. Bayley, Roxanne, Kelly, and Charlotte Flair. So that is a great women's one. I gave you my 4 men. I'm going to give you my 4 women. And again, these could be any 4 women in any professional wrestling. But my 4 women, I think the first 2 obviously got to be Trish and Lita. I am going to go with Kelly because Kelly has always been one of my favorites. And she was one of the first superstars that I actually remember watching when she performed on ECW. She won the Divas Championship. When she finally made a name for herself besides being the hot blonde in Extreme Expose. And my 4th one, I mean, we could go Chyna. We could go Jacqueline. We could go Victoria. We could go... I mean, there's so many women that we could go towards. But the woman that I'm going to say for my number 4 is Mickie James. Mickie James is my number 4 of all time. My Mount Rushmore is Jalen Hurts, Christian McCaffrey, Julio Jones, and Trav. I mean, hey, you could do football too. I didn't say what sport. Well, I mean, I guess I did, but if you want to do a football one too, that's okay. I'm sorry, Jadis. I don't know why it's doing that. It looks okay on my TV and everything. It might just be yours, but it also might just be my Wi-Fi because it's pouring rain outside. Yeah. Please slow down. Was Bayley's 1,000th? You said 100th. But a 1,000th match he meant. It's been a long time. What's up, Temple? Temple, it has been a long time, bro. How you been? How you doing? What you been up to? How's the family? Let me know. It's you, Temple. I appreciate you stopping by. I wouldn't be mad at that big E being special guy. See, I wouldn't either. My only thing would be, though, is I don't know if he can wrestle, and I don't know if he can be able to get in the ring and do anything like that. That would be my only worry, is that they would be able to, and they would not be able to have Big E in the ring. So that's why I say special enforcer. But if he can get in the ring, let's see Big E special guest referee. My Mount Rushmore, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Bret Hart, and Kurt Angle. That's a really good one. Like I said, you could come up with 4 people real quick, and it's so hard because it's just one of those things, man. It's really complicated to try and figure it out, and with what will be what. I don't know, man. It's crazy. But my 4, I'll give you another 4 of Mount Rushmore. I want to say Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, and I will say Y2J Chris Jericho. Because Chris Jericho deserves to be up there too. Because Chris Jericho will always be one of the greatest of all time. Lita, Sasha, Becky, Charlotte. Give me my Mount Rushmore of NFL. Well, Tom Brady, Devin Hester, Tony Gonzalez, and Ray Lewis. Mountain Rushmore in War Games. Randy, John Cena, Flair, Triple H. That's what I mean. I didn't even say Randy. I didn't say Edge. I missed so many superstars in just the 3 to 4 that I gave you guys that there are so many which ways to be able to do this. Running backs. Well, my top 4 running backs, probably LaDainian Tomlinson, Adrian Peterson, Barry Sanders, and I want to say Matt Forte, but I don't want to say Matt Forte. So I'm going to go with somebody. Who? This is a hard one. Trying to think. Maybe a Jamal Charles. No, Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson. St. Louis Rams, look him up. Devin Hester, Tom Brady, Ed Reed, and Ray Lewis. Give me a War Games Mount Rushmore. Like the top 4 War Games of all time. Well, I will definitely say that my top 4 favorite War Games may be different because I'm a little biased because I have been to 2 pay-per-views that have had War Games. So I'm going to say the War Games matches for me is the Undisputed Era against Pat McAfee and his crew. I will say the one in Chicago last year with the men, where it was Dominic and Judgment Day with Drew McIntyre taking on Jay, Cody, all of them, Seth Rollins, etc. Third one, I will say that women's one with Rhea Ripley and Candice LeRae going 2-on-4 and defeating Shayna Baszler's team after they lost Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai because Dakota Kai turned on Tegan Nox. And then my last one is going to be NXT War Games 2019 when Tommaso Ciampa took Adam Cole baby from the top of the cage and took him and put him through a table, and they ended that match. Just make up 5 people, I'm done. So those are my top 4 War Games. Oh, no, people you would want to see in War Games. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You got my top 4. You got my top 4 War Game matches of all time there too with you. Gave you a little extra. My top 4 people in War Games, I'm going to give you guys that we will never see and be able to see in War Games. Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle. I guess we could see a Rey Mysterio, but I mean, I don't know. Eddie Guerrero, number 3. And the one and the only Umaga in War Games. Let's see Umaga in War Games. Yes, Dakota Kai turning in Tegan Nox in 2019 was one of my favorite war. Damn, he's savage for that. He said that's one of my favorites. He said, hell yeah. He said that's one of my favorites. But that looks like all we got here for you guys. So we're going to keep saying so because obviously I can't take it out of my vocabulary, which is okay. Just going to try not to say it as much as I usually do. But we're done here for this week, guys. We will be back here Monday for Monday Night Raw, another 3-hour show. We got 2 Monday Night Football games, which means we'll be going live an hour earlier on Monday to watch the games and to watch Monday Night Raw. So make sure you hit that button and you join the channel. Mixed Tag Team Mount Rushmore. Mixed Tag Team Mount Rushmore. Not much to choose from. Mixed Tag Team? I don't even know any Mixed Tag Teams. I can't even. The only ones I can think of off the top of my head was like Asuka and Miz, Braun Strowman and Alexa, R-Truth and Carmella. And then wasn't it like Mandy Rose and Goldust or something like that? I can't even think of all of that. We will have to do definitely more Mount Rushmores. I definitely like doing the Mount Rushmores. But as I said, we're done here for this week, guys. So make sure that you continue to keep an eye out for shorts all that good stuff tomorrow. We got NFL Week 3. Make sure you go check out those games. Keep an eye out. I'll be posting shorts, give you my predictions. Hopefully you do better than we did last week, because last week we did really bad. But next week, we got Raw. And then on Tuesday, guys, we got another interview, and it will be our last interview for a little bit of time until we figure out some things and we get everything situated. But we've been having this one in the bank for a little bit, and I'm so excited to finally have her on the channel. She is Chicago sweetheart. It is Missa Kate coming here to the channel Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time during NXT. Come and hang out. It's Tino and Missa Kate. Talk about everything that she's been up to through a first pitch at a Major League Baseball game. She is currently a champion. She's doing her thing all over the place. So I can't wait to have her on the channel and catch up and see what she's been up to. But guys, make sure to go follow all the social medias, become a member, leave a super chat, get all your merchandise at bonfire.com. Make sure that you go and subscribe on the road to 3K. You go and hit that like button right now if you have not yet. And lastly, guys, turn that notification button on so you know when we go live next, which will be Monday night for Monday Night Raw. Let's go and let's give today's MVP to our guy Chris today. You know what? Let's give it to Chris and Jadis. Double co-MVPs today because you guys were here all episode long. But, guys, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Hopefully it's not raining by you. I got to go let Nala out in the rain now. So, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you Monday for a new week and another 3-hour Monday Night Raw.